Hey, thank you so much for joining us here. It is Monday night, 11:35 p.m. from Inside the Polygon. I'm Justin Sparks, here to talk a quick little bit about severe weather outbreak for the Gulf states tomorrow, and then we're going to dive into what looks to look like a potentially pretty snowy forecast here for central Indiana. You get a chance to check us out InsideThePolygon.com for your latest information. We've got our latest 5-day blog that we update as necessary in every 5 days. Our latest YouTube podcast, and our latest forecast discussion. So let's real quick talk about the Gulf Coast tomorrow. A pretty dangerous day ahead. The Storm Prediction Center has a moderate risk across northeast Louisiana, south central, all the way across Mississippi, and then a majority across the top of Alabama, as well as the north part of Florida. We look statistically at what that looks from the probabilities. And when you look at that data right now, we've got this big area of significant severe weather outlined. We put a blog discussion out. Check it out at InsideThePolygon.com or on Facebook or on Twitter. We've got the detailed forecast for that. So if you have anybody that you know or you care about in this the hatched area tomorrow, there's a strong chance for significant long track tornadoes. Let's go back to central Indiana right now. Last night we talked about the low pressure system is going to come across. We've had 24 hours to pass on. The low pressure system exists at this time it's going to be south central Texas. As we go forward in time, we see that the low pressure system continues its track pretty close to where it was last night, but a little further off to the east. By the time we get to late Wednesday night, the low 988 millibar low located across central Ohio, which potentially brings that band of colder air, as you see it coming across here, into that, which means the snow chances and snow potential is going to raise up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures. A lot about what we talked about yesterday. As we go forward in time here, we're starting a little bit earlier. This is the low pressure system. You see up here in that northwest corridor, which we talked about, the temperatures 35 just north of Howard County, 34 off a little bit to the west there, 34 down near Terre Haute, 35 in Indianapolis. As we move across the time when we're going to deal with that, we're going to see these temperatures at the surface that's capable of having snow with us. What that's going to mean for us is that the opportunities for snowfall totals to be higher are going to be there. So we look at the GFS on snowfall totals. That kind of correlates with that. The models here have tended to be a little bit on the high end for everything that we have there. We look at the GFS, we're into mid-Wednesday. We've got those periods up there a little bit higher on there. As we go later into the night, we've got this 13-inch range up in north central Indiana, southern Michigan, and looks like that's going to be there. We're still talking about a relatively narrow corridor of high snowfall totals. If you get much outside of that, you're going to see those totals drop all the way down. This is the GFS. Let's take a quick look at the GGEM model. In the same time frame, we're going to see that still focused up there with the highest snowfall total still there, somewhat less than the GFS, and that's been the trend across time. So we think right now it's a safe bet to say that anywhere in this northern third of Indiana is going to have the highest snowfall totals. If we get much shift in this any further, if this drops back down, we can see a lot higher totals. Earlier we saw a GFS total over Howard County with 11.5. We took the time to talk to one of our consult meteorologists, Chad, who's out in California. He seems to think that the data seems to agree pretty well. So we're going to keep an eye on this as we go forward through the night. Hazard forecast for tomorrow doesn't really exist for us. The Gulf states are the big thing, and we're going to keep a close eye on that. Watch us on Twitter, Facebook, and on here for the latest at Inside the Polygon. Thanks so much for stopping by.